Alright, welcome back, and we're going to be watching a new game, Bisu vs. July. This is part of the OSL 2008, and this is going to be a clash of titans. I'm very excited to see how this match will play out, and really these are just two great players who are going to be playing today, and I thought it'd be very interesting to cast this game. We've got Bisu vs. July, and this is going to be on the map Autumn Wind, also known as Chupung-Ryeong, something like that. And it's a very, very interesting map. It's kind of a new concept, and I am curious to see how the games will play out on this map. Really, not many games have been played on it so far. So right now we see Julyzerg spawning at the bottom left as Zerg, and Bisu spawning at the top right as Protoss. Historically, these two players are 2-1, Julyzerg having 2 wins over Bisu. And I really want to know if Bisu will be able to come back and take back a game against July. Julyzerg is just an awesome player, and really, I think he should be able to take this game against Bisu. Bisu, at this point in time, he's not really playing at the top of his game. No more, he's not really in his prime anymore. People have figured out his strategy, the Sair DT build that he used against Savior in the MSL finals in 2007. So, really, Bisu is having a little bit of trouble in these new seasons. Currently, he is not doing very well. I mean, he's still a very competent player, very proficient, but he's just not doing as well as you'd expect from an MSL winner. So now we are seeing a 9 pool coming from July. July oftentimes likes to do these builds, forces the opponent not to be greedy, and really it just throws them off. You can be a little bit more aggressive, and it's very nice in general, especially against players like Bisu, who came in during the macro era, and really a 9 pool can throw them off, and it's really nice to use these kind of low economy builds. Drone coming out right now, and it looks like it's going to be blocking the ramp. Now, obviously Bisu will not know what build it will be, but it's pretty obvious it's going to be some type of early pool, because otherwise there'd be a hatchery at the expansion. So, you know, it's not really too useful to use this drone here to block, but it's always nice to have your opponent in the dark, just so they get a little bit worried. Now the drone looks like it's going to be coming out now, and first photon cannon coming up right now. 6 Zerglings are now being produced. Generally, when we see from Korean programmers, they only make the 6 Zerglings and force you to make 2 cannons, and after that they're not going to make any more Zerglings. At that point they're going to be starting to pump drones and get their economy up. So this is exactly what Julyzerg is doing right here. I'm a little bit surprised he did not choose the 9 overpool build, which is actually quite a bit better, actually significantly better economically than a 9 pool. However, he's not going to be able to get in, he's just going to be able to force those 2 cannons, and overall that's a pretty even trade. It'll force Bisu to get his Nexus a little bit later, and Julyzerg will be able to take his 3rd base right now with that map control he got from these Zerglings. I'm a little bit worried about that 3rd base though. This map looks a lot like Sin Peaks of Bisu, and that was a very, very hard map. Oh, we see a run by coming by for July. He gets 2 Zerglings out of 5 Zerglings, so he gets 3 Zerglings killed in that, but he gets these 2 Zerglings in, he's going to be able to take out some probes, as well as getting very nice scouting. So I think this is overall a pretty nice move by Julyzerg. As we all know, scouting is absolutely crucial in StarCraft, and so he's going to be able to know exactly what Bisu is doing for a very long time. As well, he's going to just be a little bit annoying with these Zerglings, try and take out a few probes, harass, and just waste some mining time. Now we see Julyzerg has these 3 bases, and as I was saying earlier, this map is very much like Sin Peaks of Bisu, and I'm a little bit worried about Julyzerg taking that 3rd base. It seems very hard to defend. It's very far away, just like on Sin Peaks of Bisu. And overall, this contributed to the downfall of Savior when Savior kept overextending himself too much. And we all know that Bisu is the master of, you know, taking control of the game against someone who's too greedy. But we all know that Julyzerg is not a greedy player at all. He is a very, very aggressive player, and we'll have to see how this game plays out. Scouting probe gets back into the main of Julyzerg and manages to see the lair coming up. This is a very standard build for Koreans nowadays. 3-hatch lair. It allows you to get the Spire, and then at that point you're going to be able to choose to go Mutalisk or Scourge and Hydras. Very popular in Korea right now. And we see a Stargate coming up right now for Bisu, and Julyzerg is gonna know how to react from this. I don't know if he saw that second gas, but you can really tell a lot from the various buildings that Protoss have. For example, if you see the second gas, it usually means they're going to be going for a more tech-heavy build. It was a very early second gas, by the way. As well, if you see a lack of gateways, or that early Stargate that we saw, it's really just going to be able to tell you what you should do. And with this early Stargate, Julyzerg's probably not going to be going Mutalisks. And you can almost pretty much tell that he does not have his second gas. So Julyzerg is definitely going for Hydras. He's getting his 4th hatchery already. Generally in this build you get the 5th hatchery and then you place down a Hydralisk Den and an evolution chamber. And I really like this build, the 3-hatch lair. You get really nice economy and it's very defensive. So you use a few Scourge, pick off the first Corsair, and then get a little bit of scouting with those Scourge. And then you're getting those Hydras, and you're going to be able to take the game from there. So you can see the 5th hatchery is going up right now, as well as the Hydralisk Den. And I really like July's play right now. The little one thing I'm worried about is he has a little bit of a lack of saturation of drones. It just doesn't feel like he has enough drones right now. And it kind of worries me a little bit. Julyzerg actually surprisingly getting his second gas fairly quickly while he was doing the Hydralisk build, as I said earlier. I think this may mean he will be going for Mutas after getting a few Hydras. But you can tell because you really don't need a second gas for Hydras at this point. I mean you do, but you'll need it a little bit later. So, interestingly, we've got this second gas coming, and it may come into hand strategically later because tech switches are very nice in this game, because if you catch your opponent off guard with the wrong unit combination, you'll really be able to do a lot of damage, and that may be what Julyzerg is planning on doing. So with 5 hatcheries, Julyzerg's going to have a very nice economy. Bisu in the meantime going to get a few units out on the field, and he's getting his 3rd gateway. Sending a probe down over here to the top left. I think he is going to be expanding. He's got this map control right now. He's got a few zealots and everything. Julyzerg, I don't know if he actually saw that, but if he gets a few cannons up there, it's going to be a completely safe expansion. At this point, we have these Scourge patrolling around, and I'm interested to see how Julyzerg actually makes some Mutalisks. As I said earlier, he could be going Mutalisk. There's one cannon up here, another cannon warping in, and this Corsair almost gets taken out by those 2 Scourge. And these only 5 Mutalisks here, I don't think they can do much damage at all. But we'll have to see. They're gonna pick off this cannon first. However, Julyzerg does not pull that Mutalisk fully back, and it does get hit. Archon is already out, so I can't see these Mutalisks doing too much damage, but they are going to be able to pester around these probes a little bit and take out these cannons, which will cost Bisu a little bit of economy. And you can see right now, Bisu is actually restarting production of Corsairs, and that's something I totally disagree with, because he only sees 5 Mutalisks, and since he knows that there was a late second gas, there's no reason to be, getting worried about too many Mutas and making more Corsairs. And at this point, Bisu has made 2 more Corsairs than he probably should have. And I really disagree with that, because at this point, Julyzerg is already starting his Hydralisk production. If you have too many Corsairs, it's really not going to be helpful at all. As well, I really like July's tech switch right there. At least a little surprised, because he did manage to take out 3 cannons as they were morphing, and he did manage to kill a few probes. As well, he forced 2 Corsairs and forced 2 Templar into an Archon. 4 Templar into Archons, actually. And we all know how bad Archons are against Hydralisks. So, really, I like that move there by Julyzerg. He only used 5 Mutalisks, and he actually did quite a lot of damage just by forcing Bisu to overreact. So now we've got Bisu's units just meandering around the map, not really having any type of focus, and we'll have to see a major battle. I'd like to see how this map plays out on